Hi, my name is Emily Thomas. I'm a British visual artist based in Berlin. I'm currently doing an artist residency at Homesession. My residency here was actually as a result of a previous opportunity that I took up at Escocesa. I did a project at GlogauAIR Berlin, and there was a residency exchange prize between GlogauAIR and Escocesa, which I was awarded in 2020. Due to COVID-19, the project was interrupted, so now I've returned to Barcelona nearly 2 years later to finally finish the project at Homesession, where I will also be presenting my work. My general practice is based on different places, which is what makes residencies so great for my work, because I get to experience lots of different environments and realities. I'm interested in architecture and shapes, materials, colours that you find in different places, and how these characteristics define a sense of place. And I then translate that into my artwork to create a kind of atmosphere or a sense of a particular place that can be felt by the viewer. I'm interested in the repurposing of buildings, and that's why Escocesa was originally very interesting for me, because there's a lot of gentrification in the area. It's a post-industrial town, even Escocesa itself was a textile factory originally and has been repurposed. So then I started expanding my research onto other post-industrial towns in Barcelona. So we have Poblenou, Rosal, which is a little bit further out of Barcelona, Sant Andreu, and Desvern. And due to COVID, really, the project has ended up being expanded quite a lot. So I also did a project at Konvent, which was in another a textile factory, same as Escocesa. So when I first experience a different environment and a different place, I usually walk around the area and just follow things that interest me. I document my observations with photography, and then I make collages with my images, so it allows me to kind of visualize what I've seen as three-dimensional forms. It's a little bit like cubism in the process, to see things from different perspectives and how these things change and create an atmosphere. So this sculpture here was inspired by a building called Walden 7, which is located in Desvern, in the plot of a former cement factory. There's still some fragments of the former factory left as well, which is quite an interesting relationship. But the name of the building was inspired by a novel by an author called Skinner. It's called Walden 2, and it kind of depicts a utopian community based on individualism. And he was inspired by another book by Peru, who's interested in the use of modules to create apartments and community spaces. But the actual building itself was really controversial. They had tiles, red tiles across the whole building, and they used the wrong glue, so the tiles fell off and created like a pedestrian hazard. They were supposed to create around 5 of what is there currently, and only 1 ended up being created because there were so many issues. There's no central heating, there's a bath in the middle of the floor, so many residents ended up actually having to remove that. And because it was based on 1 person living in each room, it ended up not actually being that functional to live in for many people, so it had to be altered. And I don't know, for me it's just really interesting to see how people responded to the space, and how also the different residents interact, and how the space has been changed over time. Also for the architect, interpreting maybe what his priorities are. So for me, after COVID, I really tried to use this opportunity to refine my technical skills, because my main medium is wood, And because of COVID, I actually haven't had the opportunity to make any sculptural work for 2 years. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking coming back and doing this, but I feel really happy to have got to know tools again and finally be working on a large scale. So my solo exhibition coming up on the 17th of December is called In the Melting Pot and consolidates all of my research of the post-industrial areas of Barcelona that I mentioned. Yeah, it would be really great to see you there.